We are going to work with holographic breathing. I'm going to teach holographic breathing. We're going to work with craniofacial breathing, which is a name that I've made up. In holographic breathing, there's a movement of the cranium, of the face, of the throat, of the neck, and through the whole body. But a lot of people are interested in the structures of the face and cranium, and they mirror through the whole body. So I teach holographic breathing, and then we're going to be working with all of these structures and how they breathe, how the face breathes, how the cranium breathes, and how this starts balancing all of these structures in the neck and through the brain and through the whole body. In the last webinar, I talked about mewing and I didn't know anything about it, and I only read about it that day, in that there was a similarity in that in mewing they press the whole tongue up onto the roof of the mouth, and it's kind of quite forceful in a way, the way they do it, and then they hope, or they keep doing that in softer ways, trying to get it to stay there. We don't do that in holographic breathing. We don't push the tongue to the roof of the mouth, but over a period of time, as the tongue relaxes, it starts suckling itself more and more to the whole roof of the mouth until it just stays there, covering the whole roof of the mouth. But that is a function of the tongue releasing its karma. It becomes stressed and tight because of the karma that's held in it. And a lot of this can be from language, where we've repressed things we've wanted to say, or are in hard situations and haven't been able to say what we've wanted to say, or maybe people haven't wanted to listen to us. But generally around language, the tongue is also a very sensuous organ. It's a lot to do with lovemaking and sensuality through the body, so there may be withholds there. But in holographic breathing, there's a continual and gentle, soft motion and massaging of the tongue. And in an imperceivable way, over a period of time, it just starts clearing that karma. And as that karma goes, the tongue just becomes softer and softer, and just naturally covers the whole roof of the mouth. Now, this is very helpful for something that's become called craniofacial dystrophy. I'd never heard of it before, and I called craniofacial breathing with holographic breathing, but that term came from the mewing, where they're trying to fix that. They're trying to fix craniofacial dystrophy. And we can heal that with holographic breathing. And what this comes from is, in natural societies and bush people or natives, or where people are just living from the land in a natural way, they don't have that. In those cultures, they don't have crooked teeth, they have wide faces, everything is working, the nasal passageways are clear, the roof of the mouth is well formed, and everything works properly. And there are many reasons for this. One is they don't have processed foods in cultures where they really are untouched and they're just eating what they're growing or catching. There's a lot of chewing involved, which builds up and fills out these structures. Also, there's not bottled breast milk coming, like formula breast milk, that the babies are breastfed and for a long time, and that forms the whole face and the roof of the mouth. And the importance of the tongue on the roof of the mouth is that in modern society, a lot of people have become mouth breathers, so the jaw is continually open. Or the tongue isn't on the roof of the mouth, and that adds a weight, and this starts pulling the whole face down. It starts narrowing the face and pulling it down, and the jaw swings back. And over a period of time, this changes the whole structure of the face. But if the tongue relaxes and naturally suckles itself to the roof of the mouth, this keeps that in place, that keeps this all up. It stops this general degradation going south in a way. The tongue on the roof of the mouth, it pulls up under the chin here. It keeps everything in place. The jaw is gonna only be a little bit open if the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and it counteracts that whole movement. And then within holographic breathing, there's a motion of the tongue on the roof of the mouth and the breathing motion through the whole face and through the whole cranium that starts, so it starts becoming a motion rather than a fixed position. You know, you might try, I want to push it up so it's fixed in this position, so it's no longer. We're not working with that in holographic breathing. It becomes a motion. It starts breathing. It starts opening and closing. It becomes a parameter of movement rather than a fixture. And in that moving dynamic, everything starts getting sorted out. It starts moving towards its balance point, balance place. And we're going to be working with that in today's webinar. Now, I'm not going to, certainly with the new people, I'm not going to be trying to get them to have their whole tongue covering the roof of the mouth, but we will be certainly working to soften the tongue so that more of it comes on the roof of the mouth, and showing the suckling motion of the tongue that comes about in holographic breathing, how the tongue starts suckling, and it is that. You don't have to push the tongue to the roof of the mouth. There is a natural suckling motion in it that draws it to the roof of the mouth and keeps it on the roof of the mouth. And this suckling motion very likely, well, almost certainly is there from baby suckling, the ability of the baby to suckle. And holographic breathing is like a very subtle form of suckling, because there's a movement. In holographic breathing, the tongue is relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. The lips are relaxed and closed. The breath is through the nose. And on the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening. And on the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing, with all of that in place. I've lost my thread. I've forgotten what I was talking about before that. But it produces this motion, and the tongue just pulls itself naturally into that position. So that is what we're going to be working with. I'll be showing you the suckling motion. I'll be showing you how we're not doing holographic breathing. I'll be going out of my way to show that holographic breathing is not an exercise. We're actually taking away a block. Holographic breathing is what's happening if you've got your lips relaxed and closed, the tongue relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. Holographic breathing naturally happens if we hadn't trained ourselves to keep our jaw still. And I'll be showing the anatomy of how the breath causes holographic breathing. You just have to let go of something, and holographic breathing is the result. So it is a truly natural thing. And it produces this motion that wasn't there before, where we can reform the whole face and brain. We can stop this downward movement. Then my advice along with that, we can't go back and suckle, but holographic breathing is a bit like a subtle form of suckling, so it can sate what we didn't get with breastfeeding. I remember when holographic breathing first came through, I thought the words that were going through my head was, this is sating me. You know, I got breastfed, I think, for about a week or something, but not fully being breastfed. This is sating that and bringing that motion in now. And we can change our eating habits. What happened was, when the natives, like the Inuit Indians, they were introduced into the society in Canada, and from having perfectly formed jaws and straight teeth, within 1 or 2 generations that had all fallen apart. That, you know, the faces were crumbling, the jawline was crumbling, the teeth were crooked, they started needing orthodontics and different things like that. Orthodontics would be out of business if people ate foods that you have to chew, and for a long time chewing them, and breastfed properly, because it's just not needed in native. And in ancient times, where they looked through these old skulls, it is just not there. Caved in roofs of the mouth, crooked teeth, they have perfectly aligned teeth. So that is a disease of modern society. And holographic breathing, we can start turning that round. My maxilla was all completely pulled back, because the jaw was behind the upper teeth. Meant the jaw was pulled back, which meant the TMJs were impinged and the whole thing become tight with that. That was going to be 5 years of orthodontics, which I wasn't going to do anyway. But after 2 or 3 months of holographic breathing, I got that checked. It was gone, it had balanced. 2 or 3 months, it had balanced and opened and was okay. So there's a lot available in this area. I'm also going to show how you can heal, or how holographic breathing heals TMJ problems. We will be looking at that. So we're working with this whole structural thing. There was a young lad and I really, unfortunately, I really kicked myself that I lost the testimonials. But the parents brought this young lad to me. Their dentist had recommended me to do craniosacral therapy with him, because I think it was only 12, 13, something like that. And he had a huge underbite. His jaw was forwards of the upper teeth. But the problem isn't that the jaw's extended, it was the same as me. The maxilla was pulled back, and he'd been having cranial sessions with different people for most of his life, for about 8 years, and you could feel that he just really hated it. It was going to have no effect at all. And I'm not into working on people who don't want to be worked on. And he was being polite, but underneath he just really did not want to know. So afterwards I talked to him and his parents. I said, well, why don't I just teach him holographic breathing, he'd go away and practice that. And then that's something he can do on himself. It's not being forced on him. So I taught him the holographic breathing. He was great. He practiced that twice a day, every day. And then 3 or 4 weeks later, the parents phoned up and said, it's amazing. His whole face is opening. Can you do some individual work with him? So I said, sure. And I taught him, well, we just worked on the first one to open up the maxilla. And then a couple of weeks later, I got another call that he had this flattened face, and they'd been doing holographic breathing. Then just suddenly it all released and the whole maxilla came forwards. And she said, it's amazing, he's got a Roman nose now. And I got this message from the dentist, or they passed on the message from the dentist, you've cured the need. He was going to have a 1/4 inch taken out of both sides of the jaw. So he's cured the need for that. He doesn't need that operation, but his face is still narrow. So I taught him how to do the sideways motion of the breath. And he practiced that. And within a month, all of his teeth aligned, they straightened, the whole roof of his mouth opened. And he was an oboe player, and he couldn't go any further because his jaw was misaligned, and it meant that he now had the perfect broachment, or whatever it was called, to play his instrument, so he could carry on with that. And that was the last I heard from them. It had done its job, and they wrote this fantastic testimonial of how it had all worked and how it opened up this. But he was young, so it takes longer as you get older, but it's available, and not in a forceful way. If you try and force something, you stop the breathing motion. We just work with the breathing motion, and it starts finding its own balance. So today we will get it going, and then we'll start working with the sideways thing. When I'm speaking in these webinars, I'm channeling, so we will probably spend some time allowing people to bring in their channels. I will now describe holographic breathing, and then we will do guided meditation. So we've got quite a lot of new people. That's great. So welcome, all of you people. If you wish to, this is a free webinar, but if you use this, if you apply yourself and learn what I'm going to teach you tonight, and practice it and let it come into your life, can literally change your life. Holographic breathing is a new, profound, evolutionary breathwork system. I'm not showing off, there just isn't anything else like it. I've stopped being meek. There is nothing else like holographic breathing. If you think there is, bring it to me, because I would like to see it. It is original. It isn't like other breath works. And the information I got about it when it came through was holographic breathing is a new breath for a new age. So we're using it to transit into a new age. In holographic breathing, the lips are closed, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, the breath is through the nose, and with the lips closed and with the tongue on the roof of the mouth, the jaw gently opens on the in-breath. The jaw gently closes on the out-breath, and it's a small motion, 3 or 4 millimeters, half a finger width. And we're going to do guided meditation to bring that in, because it'll feel hard work if you just try and do it for yourself. There's a particular way of bringing it in, but you can start off with the lips being relaxed and closed, the upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and as much as feels comfortable, the tip of the tongue close to or touching the front teeth, and it's the upper surface. If there's an inch on the roof of the mouth, that's fine. Half an inch is fine, whatever's comfortable. If it does spread over the roof of the mouth on its own in a relaxed way, that is also fine. But it's lips relaxed and closed, upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, the breath through the nose. And in the guided meditation, I will bring in the movement in a way that it's easy to do. And at a certain point, it connects to our normal breathing. It connects to the muscles of the chest, the muscles of the neck, the muscles of the diaphragm. And it just naturally moves with the breath. It becomes part of the breath. Now I'm going to demonstrate it a little bit so you can see that it is subtle. It's not a big motion. The lips stay closed. You may not even be able to see it. I normally exaggerate it a bit just so that people can see. But what you will notice is, or maybe if you can see energies, that I change state almost instantly when it starts, and that the lips do stay relaxed and closed. And I will answer questions as we get a bit closer to it. So I'll just demonstrate it for a bit. And once I start, I don't really want to stop. It becomes deeply meditative, kind of shamanistic, kundalini type breathing. It naturally opens all sorts of healing paradigms in ourselves. So somebody asked, is it best to do it sitting or lying down? If you're new and you're learning this for the first time, it's best to be sitting up, because if you lie down, good chance you'll fall asleep and miss the instructions. That's all right to fall asleep after you've learned it, that's not a problem. But while you're actually learning it, if you miss some of the instructions, then you're not doing holographic breathing and you wasted your time coming here. So to keep yourself awake, it's good to be seated and upright just through this first meditation and learning it. Another thing is a lot of people have probably done connective breath work. It's not connective breath, it's just normal breathing. Have a space between the breaths, relaxed breathing. There's no faster, slower, deeper, shallower, just however you feel, natural, relaxed, easy breathing, and there'll be naturally a space in that. Holographic breathing on its own, just the movement, brings about the different states. You don't have to do anything with the breath to go into different states. Just breathing naturally and doing holographic breathing brings in these channels. You will start connecting to your healing channels. You'll start connecting to the earth as the cranium and face start breathing, especially through the cranial base, through the what I call the fire phoenix, the third eye, the whole central brain complex. This all starts breathing. This connects us to our spiritual energy. This connects us to the beyond and gives us an ability to channel a new reality. Well, an old reality that's always been there, but this will help you connect to the energies that be. Holographic breathing was meant to be. It's not an exercise, it's an evolution, it's an awakening, it's a remembrance. So, we are just going to start. You don't have to worry about anything. I will be guiding you through the whole first part to learn it. So, closing your eyes, and if you know holographic breathing, I'll just turn my sound up. If you know holographic breathing, gently dropping into the holographic breathing. If you don't, just breathing in a easy, relaxed way. And we're going to bring in some resources, sending a smile to the earth, sending some energy to the earth, and allow the earth to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive from the earth, and allow the earth to say hello back. Notice the earth is a being, she's an alive being. We are made of the earth. Everything manifests is part of the earth. I know we like to think we own it, but it's all the earth, and every atom in our body comes from the earth and is brought to life with the spirit. Connecting to the earth and allowing a dialogue with the earth. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and beneficial energies. The beneficial energies are any channels that you like to work with. Higher beings, divine realms, the higher self and the divine realms. And allow them to say hello back. Allow yourself to receive that divine intelligence, and energy. Let that feed you. Let that guide you. And let that talk to the earth through you. It works its way through you, through your legs, through your feet, and connects to the earth. So you're a channel through and through. And asking the earth, the higher self, divine beings, the beneficial energies, to be with you through this whole webinar as your guide, your healing, and your resource. Having the lips closed and relaxed. Having the upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth and relaxed. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth. Breathing through your nose. And just doing some gentle motions of the jaw up and down so that you can feel that you can move your jaw and you can keep the lips closed. Just small, relaxed motion of the jaw. We do this every day when we're eating. We chew our food with the lips closed, so it can feel like chewing, that you can move your jaw and keep the lips closed. Okay, and you can let that just relax a bit. Just having a soft, slow motion of the jaw. Let it slow down, let it slow right down. The lips stay closed. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth. And then letting the jaw open really slowly. And as it opens, the breath comes in through the nose, and as the jaw closes, the breath leaves through the nose. So we're going to start off with this more physical aspect of it, and we'll move on as we go through. The jaw is gently opening. The lips stay closed, the tongue stays on the roof mouth, and as it opens, notice this draws the breath in through your nose. And as the jaw gently closes, relaxes back together, notice this expels the breath through your nose. It feels like a little pump. As the jaw relaxes open, it draws the breath in through your nose. And as the jaw relaxes closed, it expels the breath through the nose. The lips stay closed all of the time. And the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth all of the time. Relax the back of your neck. Relax the back of your head. Small motion of the jaw, about half a finger width, just opens a small amount. The breath comes in through the nose, closes, the breath comes out through the nose. So you probably have that rhythm by now. So we're now going to change the gestalt. It's important to stay awake through this change. We're going to change the emphasis from the jaw to the breath. As the breath is coming in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. As the breath comes out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. Notice the energy change. Notice everything gets much softer, much more subtle. Breathing in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. Relax the back of your neck. Relax the back of your head. Relax your whole body. As the jaw is relaxing open, the teeth separate. As the jaw is relaxing close, the teeth just float together. There's no pressure between the teeth. Or they can just stay very slightly apart. They don't have to touch. So the jaw never becomes fixed, it just becomes a breath. It just becomes part of the breath, like a rib moving with the breath. Notice you start feeling an energy moving through your brain, through your face, through your neck, through your head. We're going to move the emphasis away from the jaw. Once it's going, it will go on its own. You no longer have to be viewing it. Being aware of the chest. The chest is opening. Jaw follows. The chest is closing. Jaw closes. The lungs open, the jaw opens. The lungs close, the jaw closes. Being aware of your neck, letting your neck relax. Notice how it's not a technique. It's like a memory, as if you've always known how to do this breathing. On the in-breath, the jaw relaxes open. On the out-breath, the jaw relaxes closed. The in-breath, the abdomen is opening. The jaw is gently opening. The abdomen closes. The jaw closes, and this subtle motion of the breath starts moving through your whole body. Notice you can feel down into your pelvis, pelvis opening to the sides. You can feel the pelvic floor stretching, the pelvis closing. You can feel the pelvic floor relax. And you feel your arms and legs opening and closing with the breath. There's this subtle motion of the breath travels through your whole body, through every cell. Notice also, in a very subtle way, the whole face has started to breathe. Your whole cranium has started to breathe. Your brain has started to breathe. Your spine and spinal cord has started to breathe, and they're getting more oxygen, and they're being gently breathed and moving with the breath and exercising themselves. The brain cells are moving, they are breathing. This brings a new vitality to the brain. This brings an awareness to your brain. You start being able to feel your brain. You start being able to feel it breathing. And it connects itself to the higher self. Notice you drop back in your body. The third eye in the center of the brain starts opening. The crown chakra starts opening. And you start getting an energetic dialogue with the heavens. Your energies start rising into the heavens, and the heavens start descending into you, just naturally. That is just what happens with this breathing. It starts a dialogue with the beyond. It starts a dialogue and a breathing through every part of your body, through every cell, through every bit of DNA, and starts a dialogue with the energies of the earth. It is truly holographic. What is mirrored in you is mirrored in the earth, mirrored in the divine realms, mirrored in the universe. And you start speaking energetically with all of these. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. Feeling your body breathing. There's the breath in the lungs, but also there's the breath through every cell, the breath through the brain cells, and there's these subtle energies start releasing through your brain. Your sexual potency starts releasing from the pelvic floor and rising through your body, transforming, relaxing the neck, relaxing the throat, and it rises through your face and your brain, and then transcends to the beyond. Allowing the top of your head to open and allow those energies to transcend. They're not for you, they are like food for the higher self. You can no longer, once those energies release through the top of your head, you can no longer be that individual identity. You become part of the beyond. You become part of the divine energies. You become the physical part of the divine energies and an expression of the earth. Allow yourself to channel. Allow yourself to be one. Allow those energies to communicate with the beyond. Relax your neck. Relax your throat. Notice how holographic breathing is just naturally going along by itself. It has integrated into your breath. On the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening. On the out-breath, it's gently closing. Your whole cranial base is releasing. Your energies are going home in a very subtle way. Your face and cranium have become the breath. We're going to come back in about a minute. So letting that calm down. And soften. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. Brilliant. I'm in disguise. I've changed colour. Okay, let's just look at the questions and see if anybody's asked anything. So the only question I got was somebody mentioned they could feel really easy to breathe with their abdomen, just naturally filled and naturally emptied. Yeah, that is what happens in holographic breathing. It becomes very easy to breathe, not just with the abdomen, but anywhere in the body. You can practice this anytime you wish. I don't give any, like, you must do this or must do that. A lot of people practice it as they're going to sleep, as they're waking up. Going for walks is a great time to do it. You don't have, once you've got it, you can do it anywhere, on the train, walking, washing up. You can just do holographic breathing. I don't advise it to start off with when you're driving, because you can get pretty relaxed. I just doing it the whole time. When I first learned, it just became my natural breathing. There are many things. I mentioned that holographic breathing is the moving of a block. Holographic breathing is what would happen if your lips are closed, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and we're not unconsciously holding the jaw still. When we take away that block of the jaw being held, then it naturally moves in that way. And one of the things that is moving it is the diaphragm. The diaphragm is dropping, the whole esophagus, the trachea, the heart is all dropping. that connects to the hyoid bone, that connects to the jaw and tongue, and it all comes down. I'm just going to show a picture of that. Now this book's a bit reflective, so hopefully it's not going to shine too strongly. But if you look at that picture, can you see the esophagus comes down, it goes through the diaphragm and joins to the stomach. So as the diaphragm is dropping, the whole esophagus is pulling down. At the top, it is connected to what's called the hyoid bone. The base of the tongue connects to the hyoid bone. You can see the muscles from the hyoid bone connecting to the front of the jaw and the underside of the cranium. So as the diaphragm drops, the esophagus drops, pulls down the hyoid bone, the jaw drops, the tongue drops. The lips are closed, so the jaw can only drop a little bit. The tongue is suckled to the roof of the mouth, so the tongue is only going to draw down a little bit. And what happens is, as the lips are closed, that tension of being pulled down refers through all of the muscles of the face. The jaw drops a little bit, and then the esophagus pulling down and these muscles pulling up, they balance, and that starts moving and breathing the whole face. Then on the out breath, the diaphragm rises, the trachea, the esophagus rise, the hyoid bone, the jaw closes. We are doing something to stop that motion. We are unconsciously holding the jaw still so that doesn't affect us. So that is from the diaphragm. That is how the diaphragm moves the jaw and the mouth and connects to this whole breath. The other way is the muscles of the ribs. They connect to each other, they shorten from the top few ribs, they connect through the muscles into the vertebrae. I wonder if I can find that picture. I'm kind of hoping. I didn't think I was going to show you these, but okay. The esophagus, this is the spine from the front, and the esophagus is running down these vertebrae here. And you can see these muscles at either side connecting to the top ribs, and they connect to the vertebrae and the underside of the spine. These are all shortening also to lift up the ribs. And at the front, there's not a good picture for the front. Oh, there's a good picture. At the front, we're not going to go into this in depth, the pictures are quite pretty. See these muscles joining from the front of the sternum up to the hyoid bone here, and then you've got the muscle from the hyoid bone to the underside of the jaw and up to the cranium. These are shortening to help lift the ribs. And if that's shortening, we are stopping that from pulling the jaw down. But if we just allow that shortening to pull the ribs up, we allow that to also pull down the jaw, then As the ribs are lifting on the in-breath, automatically the jaw will drop. On the out-breath, as the ribs relax down, this muscle will be lengthening, the jaw rises, and that all relates into balances into the spine and the back of the head, so it's balancing, and then this creates this breathing motion of the head. Holographic breathing is not a technique. I'm going to keep saying that because I don't think people get it. You know, they think they're doing something, but if I keep saying it, at some point it will sink in. I'm not saying people are stupid, I just feel to say that a lot. I'm stopping being meek. For a long time I was thinking, because I was so ill, I was thinking, I can't bring this through and propagate it around the globe. I can bring it through to a select group of people and document it and then leave that when I go. But it's been dawning on me recently that it's my job to propagate it as well, to make sure that it does spread. There isn't actually anybody else can do the job that I can see it at the minute, and it is my job to actually get it out there. So from having Lyme's disease for 25 years, I've got to not just be a little bit healthy and just get enough to put this out. I'm going to get completely healthy. I'm going to bring it completely through. I'm going to propagate it so it spreads around the globe and it becomes a huge, meaningful, beneficial healing system that can help the whole earth move into a new time. I was hiding from that before, and it may sound, see, I think that's one of my, I don't know what you want to call it, decisions I made in the womb. I've got to be small. I'm not going to be small anymore. I'm going to do that job. And I'm not showing off. I don't want a big thing. I just want to succeed in that job, or I am going to succeed in that job, and I'm going to clear. I mean, I should have died 25 years ago. There was little left of my brain from the Lyme disease, and I've healed that to a good extent. Now I've really got to go the whole way so we become divine beings, that our brains are regenerating and working really well. And fuck it. I know people don't like me swearing, but I am going to spread this round the earth. I'm no longer going to passively going to be putting this out. I'm going to knock that door down. That's it. That's it. I'm going to knock the door down. And it's going out there, because I get this feeling that people don't want other people to be successful. There's that, and there's this also this feeling that it's kind of is a competition. It's not a competition with other breathworks. Everybody can have their bit, but I'm going to make sure this finds its place, because it is new. We're not doing the same things again. We're not breathing faster, slower, with spaces, not with spaces, holding it all. That's not how holographic breathing works. Just breathing naturally will completely change your life. And we're not doing a technique, we're removing a block. This is going to connect us to the beyond. This is going to connect us to channels we never even dreamt of. This is going to connect us to reality and possibilities that we never dreamt of, that we couldn't conceive of, because we can't conceive what is up there. It's not within our jurisdiction. But I'm going to do my level, I'm not going to do my level best, I'm going to succeed. That is going to come in. We are going to bring that in, and it's not just me. We're going to do that together. We're going to connect that to the earth. We're going to birth this energy, this reality into the earth, and it's going to be a reality that will spread around the planet. And certainly makes a difference to who I am speaking that. Maybe why it had to be a small, intimate group tonight to make that statement and change my stance on how I'm going about this. I'm not going to be small anymore. I'm not going to be meek. I'm not going to just have enough energy to get it through and give it to other people to do it. I'm going to finish this job, and that is it. Okay, so and everyone's involved. I can feel this growing around the planet. I can feel more and more people are listening and watching the YouTube videos. I don't know, 140,000 people have watched those videos. That means that a lot of people are doing holographic breathing, are channeling this reality to one level or another. And then everybody, it's not just me going to do that job. When people learn it, they're also doing that job. We have to do something that we don't destroy our planet. And the only way I can see that we can do that is to evolve spiritually. If you practice holographic breathing, you will evolve spiritually. You will change. It will give you a connection to the beyond. It will give you a connection to the earth. So we're not messing around anymore. We're not doing it halfways. We're going to do it. I'm going to do it. You're going to do it. We're all going to be part of something. I mean, plan for a miracle. Let's be sensible about this. Really, that is the sensible planning to do, is to plan for a miracle, because nothing else is going to do it. And that can be available here. All right, so this is with bringing that reality in now, in this group, here and now. We're bringing in the reality of that. If you don't want that, leave this webinar, because it's not the right one for you. If you like that idea, hang around. All right. Okay, so I think all the new people learn, and we're going to continue. Okay, it's a bit physical, and I can feel this spiritual energy coming in, but we will do the little physical bit. I was going to do one. We're going to open into the holographic breathing in another way, and so that you can feel the suckling motion of the tongue. And then when it gets going, because I mentioned we're going to work a bit with the TMJs, where the jaw is connecting to the brain, or to the cranium. And one way of feeling that is to put your little fingers into your ears, and then you can feel the jaw going up and down. Now, if you're sitting up, you can feel it strongly. If you're lying down, it's much more relaxed, and you can leave it there for a long time, but you can't feel it so strongly. So whichever way you're doing it is fine. But if you're sitting up, you may find that you just can't leave it there for long, and you might want to lie down. But one, you can just feel that holographic breathing is just opening and closing the TMJs with every breath. It's massaging the muscles, it's massaging the ligaments, the tendons there, the cartilage there is just massaging that whole area. And you can also feel, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, that we're not doing it. To move the jaw, you're using these muscles above. You're pulling the jaw up and tightening the teeth. You're like, I'm closing the jaw. We don't close the jaw in holographic breathing. The whole emphasis is the diaphragm dropping to pull down the jaw, the ribs rising and the muscles of the neck tightening to pull down the jaw. What happens is, as all that relaxes, the muscles of the face relax and the jaw rises. So the doing is on the in-breath and the downward motion. It is opposite to what people think of when they're moving the jaw, which is from above. We'll do one thing first. I'll get you to yawn, and when you yawn, you can feel all of these muscles of around the trachea here pulling the jaw down and pulling the chest up to take a different breath. You can feel all the muscles connecting. It's from the behind the ears. You can feel this bone coming down. If you follow that down, you can feel the sides of the neck, the muscles from the ribs connecting to that, and you feel the diaphragm really pulling down. Now, the difference between a yawn and holographic breathing is that your mouth opens in a yawn. In holographic breathing, you're doing a little bit of a yawn, but the lips are staying closed and the tongue is staying on the roof mouth, so you're doing a tiny yawn with every breath. But by doing a whole yawn, you really feel these muscles here tightening, all of the muscles into the neck, pulling the ribs up. You feel a deep breath of the diaphragm pulling down. So everybody, feel it really pulling your ribs up, pulling into your neck, pulling your jaw down, pulling your diaphragm down, your abdomen's opening. Relax. The jaw relaxes back together. And then another big yawn. Feel the throat tightening. The muscles from the jaw to the top of the chest are pulling all into your spine, the abdomen expanding. Relax, the jaw closes. So that's holographic breathing, but we do that small. Now, moving on from that, we're going to get this suckling motion of the tongue. So we're going to come in a bit differently. And what we're going to do is I'll demonstrate it first. We're going to start off with mouth breathing. Just go, and you do a big motion of the mouth. And when we're actually doing that motion, then you make that motion much smaller. So the breath is moving the jaw. This is the breath moving the jaw now, which is much smaller. See, the breath is moving the jaw. It's a smaller motion. The breath pulls it down, and then the lips close. Now, when you're doing that, it's not just pulling the jaw down, it's pulling the tongue down. And as it pulls the tongue down, you feel the tongue, from being flat, it V's. It does a suckling motion. You can feel the breath is automatically making this suckling motion in the tongue. And that is what is connecting it to the roof of the mouth. It's the suckling motion that's being created by the breath in the tongue, that's suckling the tongue to the roof of the mouth. And the longer you do holographic breathing, that will just work back through the whole tongue till it is completely suckled to the roof mouth. So we don't have to hold the tongue on the roof mouth. It automatically suctions itself there. All right. Some people asked if there's going to be a recording, because a few people are leaving. Yes, there'll be a recording. You'll all get sent a recording. All right. And then, so we'll get that motion, we'll feel that, and then at a certain stage, we'll just close the lips, bring the tongue onto the roof mouth, and that'll still all be happening, but it'll be much smaller, and you'll feel, rather than the jaw moving a long way and the tongue moving a long way, they sink a little bit, they balance between all of the muscles and the whole cranium and face, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then after a little bit, we'll put our small fingers in the ears just to feel the TMJs. Then we'll do a bit getting the breathing motion of the cranium, but I feel this huge, great channel coming through, and we're just going to bring that in. We're going to bring some reality to holographic breathing. Hopefully that will just manifest and change the earth, not just us. We need to communicate, we need to bring this energy through and let it drive deep to the center of the earth. We need to let that spiritual energy inform the very center of the earth. And as people are coming from many different countries, can all come in different directions into that pinnacle in the middle. I've scared everyone away. Look, it's getting smaller and smaller. That's what happens when you're going to do something powerful. Everybody leaves. Or if you want to be big, everyone goes. But never mind, I'm going to be big, whatever. Or we're going to be big. All right. Closing your eyes. And we'll start holographic breathing, opening the mouth as you're breathing in and out through the mouth, and opening the mouth quite wide on the in-breath, closing the mouth on the out-breath. Now make that movement much smaller and just letting the breath move the mouth. It'll become a much smaller movement, but your diaphragm, your chest, the breath is moving the jaw. And the jaw will just open a small amount and close on the out-breath. You're letting your chest and the diaphragm move the jaw. Now notice the surface of your tongue, that the tongue is also being pulled down on the in-breath and rising on the out-breath, and it's V-ing as it pulls down. The tongue is making a suckling motion as the breath is pulling it down, and then it's flattening out as it all rises. So the diaphragm, the breath, is pulling down the jaw and the tongue on the in-breath, and then it's relaxing the jaw and tongue up on the out-breath. You're not doing that, the muscles of the breath are doing that. And then when you feel ready, on the out-breath, as the lips close, let them stay closed, let the tongue suckle to the roof of the mouth. Breathe in, the jaw is just opening a small amount and balances. Breathing out, the jaw closes. Breathing in, the tongue starts coming down, but it suckles itself, it automatically suckles itself to the roof of the mouth as the breath is pulling it down, and then relaxes on the out-breath. So holographic breathing, you're letting the breath move the jaw, you're letting the breath move the tongue. Notice as the jaw and tongue are pulling down with the breath, this is allowing the breath in through the nose. As the breath is rising the jaw and tongue, this is letting the breath out through the nose. Notice that's quite physical. Now if you become more aware of the breath coming in through the nose, that whole movement becomes much more subtle. So it feels different when you become aware of the breath coming in through the nose. It's as if the breath is moving the jaw. As it opens through the nose, the jaw naturally drops and opens on its own. And as the breath comes out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed on its own. And just let that become easy and relaxed and just a natural thing. Bring your awareness into the chest, into the abdomen. As it opens, the jaw opens. As it closes, the jaw closes. And then bringing your little fingers into your ears. Now you can feel the TMJs, you can feel the head of the jaw opening away as you breathe in, and then coming back as you breathe out. And notice you're not doing that. You can feel the breath pulling your jaw and tongue down. You can feel the breath letting that relax back up. And you can feel this deep, primordial rhythm of the breath moving your jaw, moving your face, moving your cranium. And notice as the breath pulls the jaw down, it's balanced in the sides of the back and sides of the neck. Jaw is being pulled down at the front, but it's being balanced at the back so the head stays level. And also if your arms aren't getting too tired, you can feel as the jaw opens, the whole cranium opening to the sides as you breathe in, closing back towards the middle as you breathe out. So feeling that the ears opening out as you breathe in, breathing out, the ears are coming back in as you breathe out. You can let your fingers come out of your ears. Just be with the breath, relaxing your neck. So that's quite a physical way in, but it was planned and we've just done it. So holographic breathing is naturally how we would breathe if we allowed it. Holographic breathing sets this physical motion of the face and cranium and neck into play. You can feel the sides of the jaw, the sides of the face opening out as you breathe in, closing as you breathe out. The sides of the cranium opening out to the sides as you breathe in, closing as you breathe out. The sides of the neck opening as you breathe in, closing as you breathe out. So it's not just an up-down motion, everything expands to the sides as you breathe in. Everything closes as you breathe out. Goes out through the shoulders, the chest, the arms, opening out to the sides as you breathe in, closing immediately as you breathe out. And the abdomen, and lower arms opening out to the sides and closing. And your pelvis and your legs. So the whole body opens out sideways as you breathe in, closes immediately as you breathe out. Let that become much subtler. This is how fish breathe. If you feel the sides of your neck and the sides of your cranium, you can feel that you can breathe like a fish, as if you've got gills. Feel your gills breathing in your neck and cranium. We're going to work a bit with the tongue on the roof of the mouth. So in a very subtle way, when you're breathing in, there's the downward motion of the tongue from the diaphragm. And it's suckled to the roof of the mouth. And as it pulls down on it, it just suckles more strongly to the roof of the mouth, and then as it rises, the suckle relaxes. So this puts a very subtle motion into the roof of the mouth. So as you breathe in, the tongue and the roof of the mouth are gently dropping and opening. As you breathe out, the tongue is rising and doming, and the roof of the mouth, the tongue and the roof of the mouth are rising and doming on the out-breath. On the in-breath, they're dropping, flattening and widening. So it creates this whole opening out to of the maxilla and air passageways to the side as you breathe in, and then it all relaxes back in as you breathe out. You've got to breathe with the abdomen. The diaphragm is doing this, so you let the abdomen expand. You feel the tongue and the roof of the mouth dropping and opening. You let the abdomen close and the tongue and the roof of the mouth rise and narrow. And if more of your tongue wants to come on the roof of the mouth, allow it, but don't force it in any way. This can happen over a period of time. You start getting this lovely motion of the tongue and the roof of the mouth, and you start feeling all of the bones of the face and cranium starting to adjust, starting to breathe, starting to move. Holographic breathing starts the craniofacial motion. You feel that through your neck, through your spine, through your whole body. Holographic breathing instigates the breathing motion of the whole body. Let your abdomen expand. This naturally pulls down the tongue, the roof of the mouth. They open. Breathing out, the abdomen closes, the tongue rises, the roof of the mouth rises. So you're getting this suckling motion of the tongue with every breath, and this is making your tongue softer, larger, and more versatile. You can feel your tongue spreading out to the sides as you breathe in, with the cranium, with the face, with the whole body, closing medially as you breathe out. Relaxing the back of your head. This is starting the tentorium breathing, the lateral ventricle through the middle of the brain, the lateral membrane through the brain. This will work with the breathing motion of the brain, and you'll feel it through the sides of the cranium and the back of your head. And you might feel this right down to the pelvic floor, the roof of the mouth, the tentorium, and the pelvic floor. They're all pulling towards each other on the in-breath. They're all moving away from each other on the out-breath. So you get this shortening and widening of the body on the in-breath, and this lengthening and narrowing of the body on the out-breath. You have to orchestrate that from the abdomen and the chest opening, and that's causing this shortening and widening. The abdomen and chest closing, causing this lengthening and narrowing. You can feel that physical motion through the body. You can feel the bones of your face and cranium starting to breathe. You can feel your brain starting to breathe. Relax the back of your neck. Relax the back of your head. With this shorter breath, it may feel a bit strange, but the cervical vertebrae are shortening on the in-breath. The whole spine shortening on the in-breath and lengthening on the out-breath. Gives you a deep breath, the abdomen, the chest really open as the neck shortens and widens. The abdomen and chest really close as the neck lengthens and narrows. Okay, letting that get softer, more subtle. And just letting the holographic breathing move through you now in whatever way it wants to breathe. We're moving away from this more physical breath into a more subtle breathing. Be aware of your thighs. The energy wants to earth. Be aware of your thighs, your calves, your feet, and the connection to the earth. Allow yourself to be breathed by the earth. She's pulling you down towards her, and you're opening on the in-breath. She's breathing you away, you're lengthening and narrowing on the out-breath. Notice how that really fills your abdomen, fills your lungs. As she pulls you in, the abdomen, lungs really open out to the sides. As she breathes you away, they empty and you narrow and lengthen. And then letting that soften, becoming aware of the energetic connection to the earth. The energetic connection to the higher realms. Just breathing naturally and softly. Letting the energies rise in the face, into the maxilla, into the eyes, into the top of the brain, the higher energies. And feel the connection through the top of your head to the divine realms. And feel this deep breath. And feel this connection through your head to the divine intelligences. And the divine intelligences of the breath. And the divine communications of the energies. The divine reality that can come to earth now, that is ready. This seed has been waiting for a while. Now it's ready. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing. Let that seed, that intelligence come to you. Letting the top of your head relax open. Letting that energy drop down into your head, to your face, to your neck and lungs. Let it breathe your lungs. Let it breathe your neck. Let the divine consciousness breathe you. Down through your arms, through your abdomen, through your pelvis. Let that divine reality breathe you. Let that divine reality inform every cell and every bit of DNA. Let that drop down into your pelvis, into your genitalia. Notice as it drops into the pelvic floor, the genitalia, the sacrum, the rectum. All of those energies start rising in the body. It evokes the Kundalini, and that energy rises through you and through the brain and up into the higher self. So the higher self drops into you, and there's the reciprocal. Your sexual potency starts releasing, and that rises through your body, through your brain, into the higher self. The higher self feeds you, you feed the higher self. They've been waiting for this energy, for this connection, for this divine recognition and union for the whole of our evolution. Allow it to happen. Allow the divine energies to drop through the pelvis into your legs, into your arms, to the top of your arms, into the top of your legs, your lower arms, your lower legs, your hands and feet, and allow that divine recognition, that message, that intelligence, that seed to drop into the earth. And watch it descending through nature, through her being, down, down, till it lights a spark at the center of the earth. And as it does that, feel those ripples of energy as that recognition hits the center of the earth. It's like a pulse, like an atomic explosion at the center of the earth goes up, and there's these waves of energy start rising up and through us. And they also connect up through us, through the top of our head, into the divine realms. Let it go. Let it go through you. Let it go through your head. Let it go through the top of your head into the divine realms, and let it rise all the way. Let it be received into the folds of divine consciousness. Let the angels rejoice. Let the energies rejoice. Let your head release. Gone, gone, forever gone. Gently breathing with the holographic breathing, relaxing your legs, relaxing your arms, relaxing your brain. Notice about a foot above your head as an energy center that's lighting up as this pathway to the divine intelligences starts opening, and you become part of that channel of divine consciousness on earth. Claim your right. Claim your birthright. To be part of the gods, to be a god, to be not just a body, but the manifestation of the divine energies on earth. They're not separate. You and the divine energies and the higher self are one being. The earth, one being. We're all reflected in each other. Allow yourself to receive that reality. Allow yourself to be God's. And breathe. Relax the back of your neck. Relax the back of your head. Relax your throat. Relax your genitalia. Let the energies flow. Let yourself seed the earth, seed the higher energies, and let the divine realms seed you and the earth, and allowing the earth to seed you and the divine realms. Let go of your neck. Let the energies transit through you. Let yourself go. Let yourself be that you've always known, that you've always wanted to be. Allow your power, allow your position, allow your right to be a divine being in manifest form on earth with immense potency and power, health and healing, divine consciousness beyond all that we can perceive. Let that melt through your very being, through your very DNA. Let everything melt. Let everything relax. Gone, gone, forever gone. And breathe. And let go. Let your spine melt. You are one with God, the Creator, the beyond, the earth, the universe. And breathe. Notice how easy the holographic breathing is when you've let go of everything. The breath just naturally moves through every cell. Relaxing the back of the neck, relaxing the back of your head. And your legs, letting that earth connection through your arms and legs. Okay, we're going to come back in about a minute. Okay, and sending a thank you to the earth. A thank you to the higher self. Thank you to the divine beings, divine realms, beneficial energies. And letting the energies go off for love and healing to the earth. For love and healing to the higher self and the divine realms. Allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And letting the energies go out to all sentient beings, and you are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed, and allowing the energies to go to all sentient beings for love and healing. And allow that vision, that energy of a divine creation on earth for everyone. At some point, everyone becomes divine consciousness manifested on this beautiful planet, and we treat the planet with respect and help heal nature, the seas, the air. We become true guardians of this beautiful divine being, Earth, Mother Earth. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourselves to come back. All right, we'll be carrying on this Sunday. We have give free webinars, and then we have advanced webinars each Sunday. We'll be carrying on working with the tongue and the brain this Sunday. You can go to the webinar page. You'll be getting a newsletter, and you can look on the webinar page, and that's where the advanced webinars are. These are, well, they're actually bigger than this. This was a small group tonight, but it's a really beautiful family group of people, been working together for a while. And they can be very powerful because I don't have to teach holographic breathing, and people already have a depth of understanding to it, and I can give over the deeper aspects of it. And we will be carrying on with this work with the tongue and its relationship to the brain and all of the organs through the body and the different energies. I just feel this light coming through my head. It's really hard to breathe. I think I might start to breathe to talk. I might start talking in a different language soon. It wants to talk in ET. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that was tonight. Anybody who thinks free webinars are just going to be weak, insignificant things will have to think twice now. That will be going out as a video on YouTube in tomorrow or the day after.